Our next matchup, we have Texas A&M taking on Miami in round one of the college football playoff. This will be in College Station. I don't love the kickoff time for this. We have it at 11 o'clock. That just seems so strange to me. And I understand that obviously you've got other games on the slate and you've got different TV deals, and that all works in different ways. But I just don't love the timing they chose for this. It's a weird spot here. I would love for this to have been a night game. You've got one of the best environments in college football. You should be able to utilize it to the best of your advantage. And I don't think A&M really was able to do that here. They kind of got the shaft by scheduling. Regardless of that being the case, I'm going to take Miami here. I'm going to go out on a limb. And I'm going against everything that we've talked about all season, and that's not to trust Mario Cristobal coach teams, especially on big stages in big games. I'm gonna make a mistake here, and I hope it works out in my favor. I just I see these teams being so even in this matchup across the board that I'm having a hard time getting a good feel for this game. I like the quarterback position for both teams on a good day, but on a bad day, we've seen what bad Marcel Reed looks like. He's still not terrible. Bad Carson Beck is really bad. So hopefully we don't see a bad Carson Beck in this game. We could. A&M's defense is very solid, but Miami's defense is solid too. Both units have incredible pass rushing players that they can lean on to get pressure. Ruben Bain and Cassius Howell are going to wreck offensive lines probably for this foreseeable next decade in the NFL. I think they do that in this game and in the postseason as well. They're going to give these tackles fits. And then they've also got a running room for both teams that doesn't really produce high yardage in most of their matchups. Texas A&M probably leans more on the more productive side, depending on the matchup. Miami's pretty inconsistent, but typically not very explosive in the run game. But they're relatively similar there. They can be inconsistent, and they're just that's not a strength for them. The passing game is a strength for both of these teams when their quarterbacks are on, and I really just think that's going to come down to who's able to find their star receivers the most in this game. I feel like Carson Beck's going to find Malachi Tony more in this game and C.J. Daniels more in this game than Marcel Reed's going to be able to find Kevin Concepcion and Mario Craver. It's going to be a tough one. Picking Miami to win in an away game here in a big stage is very risky, but I'm going to take the Hurricane.
This is probably the most torn I've been on a game pick the entire year. I mean, if you look down the stat sheet, these teams are super similar. If you look at like the team history, what they're kind of known for doing, they're similar. Like both teams are kind of known for choking in the spotlight. But for me, it came down to the coaches in the end. I trust Mike Elko a lot more than I trust Mario Cristobal. So I'm going to take A&M 27-24.
Yeah, I think the character of both of these teams is something that has been probably what's been pulling on both sides of my brain here. And I've always thought of A&M the same way I think of Miami. They're basically the same team. If you just took the logos off of these teams, I don't see much of a difference. Like Marcel Reed can run the ball. Carson Beck probably can't. That's really the only difference I see in these lineups. And then if you get into the coaching staff, I mean Mike Elko's a really good coach, but I don't know that he's proved that he's as good as people think he is yet. I'm going to need to see more from him and more proven commodity over time. The schedule I think was kind of reflective of their record this year, or vice versa. Their record was a reflection of their schedule. I think they got lucky; they got an easy schedule this year. I think if they had played teams like Georgia, Ole Miss, um, I mean those two teams alone, I think could have beat them. There's several other teams that they could have played that they didn't play. So I don't feel comfortable picking them when they probably are the better team talent wise here. But they've also been more cold lately than Miami has. Miami's been pretty hot the past couple of weeks. So I guess I'm more just leaning the hot hand here because I feel like both these teams profile so similarly. That's why my feel for the game is kind of clouded on this.